All right. Today's trade was a bit nerve wracking. Still feeling a little sick. Um, but uh, um, basically, when I started watching the marks today, before all this happened, I was watching ticker symbol VXRT. It was in the 22s, 23s at the time. Well, 22s at the time when I wanted to short it. It was his first red day. I knew it had an offering. I just didn't know when they were gonna pull it. But I knew I was trying to bet against this company. But from my trade yesterday, so I have to go back yesterday. Um, Yesterday I had a really bad trade. Um, I haven't done the video yet for it, but I'm going to do the video now. But first, I'm going to talk about what happened today, which is Wednesday, and then I'm going to go back into Tuesday and explain everything. But the way I've traded yesterday affected the way I was trading today, and I was just uncomfortable with shorting pre-market period, and then um, I still wasn't feeling well, so I didn't want to trade here around like early 8 o'clock to have to watch it until 9:30. My mind and my body wasn't up for it. So I left it alone. And then I took a second look at it after like 30 minutes or so, or 20 minutes or so. And it came down a good, what, I'll say 50 cent per share or 75% per share. And then I left it alone again. I'm still not watching it. And boom, I looked at it again and it dropped 50 fucking percent. Within pre-market, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" I missed the opportunity to short a stock that went down 50% in literally an hour. I can't imagine how much money that would have been. But when I was watching it here, I was thinking of shorting with 200 shares because I just wasn't comfortable trading or taking a large position while I was ill. So I left it alone. Then going into the stock that I traded all day today was SLS, and anybody who's watching SLS knows how it went. But market open, I shorted right here with I entered 100 shares at first. Most likely, I was uncomfortable with getting into it, um, and then it pulled back. I was probably up. I remember I was up like 50 to 75 bucks, but I wasn't taking the trade seriously. It did come down a lot. I don't think I looked at that, but it did come down a lot. Um, and then when it started to bounce, that's when I started adding more shares into my short. So I shorted right here, another 100 shares right here, then another 100 right here, or 200 right here. Um, then I was in 500 right here, about 4 or 500 right here, and then I shorted another 200 right here. And my average, I don't remember, but I knew I was in too big. I was down, I'll say 300 to 400 dollars, and I wasn't comfortable with it. But I had looked at the offering and the flow. So let me look that up right now to show you. And remember, the offering is if they're dumping any shares. The flow is how much shares are available to trade. Um, when it was last recorded on a Yahoo Finance. Statistics. I don't even know the news. I didn't even know what the news was. But it had wow, I didn't even know that. Practically $9 million float, and I didn't even look at the float today. What I did look at was they had an offering clear, clearly. But I did look at was the offering, and every stock this week has been trading nearly similar, um, or nearly the same. So I had an offering here, and the offering was at $7 for this much money, but they had up to 2.3 million shares they could dump. So the price was currently at like what, $10 or $12, and they can dump 2.3 million shares. So let's do the math on that. So where was it? Okay, so pre-market. Let's say pre-market or here. So $13 times two 23 million, 2.3 million actually. So that's how much money they could have. That's how much money they had to make. They were able to make pretty much $300 million on their offering. Just right here, they could make $300 million by dumping all their shares onto their investors. So when I saw the offering, and I didn't do the whole math on this, but I just knew it. When I saw the offering, I'm like, okay, this is going down. Every stock that's been trading this week, or I've been watching this week, has been doing similar patterns. So I'm just gonna trade it accordingly. So after right here, um, it started pulling back. I think somewhere right here or here was my average. I can't remember. And then it came down some more, and I covered. Um, what was it? 500 shares. I covered 600 shares right here. I don't remember how much I was up at that time. Maybe I think it was like $500 or $600, and I saw that it bounced, and I shorted some more here, and covered here. And I think at this point I was up. I'll say seven, $700. I can't remember. Honestly, I can't. And then what I really did was I just scaled in and out of this trade, and I shorted right here again, covered here. And the whole time I was trading this, I was failing to cover at the I was failing to cover into the weakness. Um, it would go down, it would break the low, like right here. It broke this low. Of course, it came down some more, but I failed to cover exactly at the weakness when I saw the sign. And then I shorted here again, and this time it broke. I think it was the lower day, and I was just way too afraid to like have it bounce on me, and I covered all my shares right here, just as it broke lower day, and made. I think I was up at this point. I was up. I think $980, and let me zoom in a little bit or get closer. So after I covered right here, this shit dropped about another 70 cents past my entry. So I was in right here at like, how many shares was it? 300 shares. And I wasn't even sizing in big this time. It was just the beginning trade, the beginning part of the trade where I was in too big. But 300 shares times um, 0.70, I missed it by another $210. I don't know why. This math must be wrong. 0.70 times 300. Okay, so I missed it by another $200. I think I had made an extra 300 on top of that, so I could have made like 5 to 600 in total if I sold right here. And throughout this entire trade, I was just waiting for big spikes to come in, um, or big covers. Every time you seen this stock bounce, it was shorts like me covering, but bigger dollar shorts. So when I shorted here, well, here and here, it was just shorts covering because it ran up, and then I took on the short, came down, covered. But one thing I've also did um, that I noticed was that it would have two big spikes or covers, and then it would start downtrending from there. So I saw this the first one here, so I shorted right here. Saw that it bounced twice, shorted again, and I was able to make my gains. So after I missed this big extra drop, I sat back and I was like, oh, I'm not going to trade anymore. I'm done. But if I see an opportunity, I'm going to take it. So when I started shorting here, I know I entered it small, 300 shares right here, um, 200 here, another 200 here. I was in 700 in total. Um, I wasn't sure if it was gonna on this last trade here. I wasn't sure if it was gonna keep fading or bounce. So I shorted little by little. I sized into my position, and I think I was risking 120 something dollars here. But I knew it had an offering. I knew the only reason why I was going up is because of shorts covering. So yes, I was risking more than I was supposed to, but I was okay with it because I knew the factors that played into this trade, and it had this big panic, but it bounced, and this is like 1 minute increments, and it literally took me about 2 hours or an hour to almost 2 hours to finally get out of this trade, and my patience was just really running out. Like I had, I had no patience, and every chance I saw, I was trying to get out, but I kept seeing more opportunity. I really wanted to get out at a low 9 $9.90, well, pretty much $9.91, but I wasn't getting that, and I was like my heart was racing. I was kind of scared that the stock was just going to start ripping up on me, um, and I struggled with taking my gains. So eventually, after almost 2 hours, I just covered. 2 o'clock was gearing in, and I didn't want to sit and let the volume pick back up and probably push this back up. I didn't want that, even though I knew it wasn't gonna happen based off of the pattern. But I'm not trying to risk um, any of my gains. Not only that, I remember Gritani and many other traders said that just because the stock is dying doesn't mean it's dead. Just because it's going down and it has an offering and has all these negative factors to it doesn't mean it's just going to stay down. There's a chance that it can bump up, push up way high, way past your entry, way past your risk, and then come down. So I was like telling myself, okay, I'm up $200. I'm up $300. I'm up almost $400. I'm up $500. I need to get out. I don't care that this shit can probably go down at $8, $5. I don't care how far down it goes. I need to take my gains and get out because you never know when it's gonna come back up. So I sold all my 700 shares right here, um, about 20 cents higher than what I wanted, which would have been about another $150, but I didn't. And now it's going down even further, but I'm okay with that. Um, so that's the trade for today. My trade yesterday. Um, 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 what was it? I forgot the name of the stock I was trading yesterday. Let me look at my calendar. HOL. This was a horrible, horrible, horrible trade. Like this stock was choppy. HOL was really choppy. Let me look at what happened today. Choppy, clearly choppy. But this is not where I traded it. Excuse me. All right. Okay, I don't have my. Uh, I don't have my. It doesn't show me my trades uh, from yesterday with the little arrows, but I will. I will look into my broker to see exactly what my entries and exits were. Give me a second. It's loading. I'm looking into my trade confirmations to see exactly how I traded it. I did a horrible on it, completely horrible on it. Um, okay, so this is how it went at 7:44, which is like, and I couldn't do the video yesterday because I was just out of it. What the fuck? Give me a second. So 7:44, which is right here. I shorted it. I went in with 300 shares, and the reason why I'm shorting this pre-market, and I'm breaking my rule here, but it had like a major offering, um, and it was down. Yeah, it was down so fucking much off its highs. Like my Monday trade and this is where I made my mistake. My Monday trade, trading ALYA. I spoke about how when a stock is, you know, if it's 30% off its highs, it still has a chance on bouncing. If it's 50% off its highs, it still has a chance on. It has a 50% chance of bouncing, but most likely it's not. And then, but it still can. But if a stock is 90% off its highs, it won't bounce at all. It has a 90% chance of not bouncing, just like ALYA didn't bounce, and that's it. So I made a flaw calculation in my in this trade where where this stock was down 50% exactly. So from the tens to the 19s came down to, well, a low of 13. So that's about 66% off his highs, but it still bounced. And as you can see here, where is it? It bounced here, and it really bounced here, into the next day. It bounced so much into the next day. But I did a flaw calculation and I thought it was down 90%. But when I look back, it was really down roughly 50% to 60%. So that's why it still bounced. And I shorted 300 shares at 744. Then 4 minutes later, at 750, I shorted um, another 200 shares, and then at 758, I shorted another 200 shares, and I shorted all until around 840. So that's about. So right here, I was down. When I started shorting here, somewhere around here. By the time I got down in here, I was up $600, and I told myself take my gains, but I was like, this shit's gonna drop so much because it's down 90% off its highs, and I'm like, I'm not gonna take my gains yet. Then it started uptrending, and of course I added a few hundred. I added a couple hundred shares. Excuse me here. I added a couple hundred shares, and it just started squeezing on me, and my $600 went from $300 and eventually hit my entry my risk and started spiking up. So I kept adding in. By the time it got to the high of day, or not the high day, but the high for that morning, I was down $2,300 fucking dollars. It was the dumbest decision that I made. I told myself, okay, I feel like I'm right on this trade. I'm not gonna cover here, but if it hits half my from halfway towards my entry, or if it hits my entry, I'm out. I told myself that, and I did not follow my rules. And I I was down. I was cool with being. I was cool with losing my gains, but I wasn't okay with that $2,300 loss. And I don't know, man. I just I I was really disappointed in myself, honestly. So around 12, okay, and then I remember how everything went down. So then the stock gave me multiple opportunities to get out. So right here was where my average was. Now I remember where it was. Right here was where my average was. This stock fell by a whole bunch, and gave me a chance to cover here where my entry was. And basically, I was gonna, if I covered where it gave me to cover, I was just gonna lose $1, or I was gonna make $1. But my greedy ass was like, oh, that's not enough for me. You know, the dumb mentality that I had, um, uh, and I didn't take it. So it squeezed back up on me. I was down another $1,500 for the day. Instead of 23 over here, I was down like 1,500 here. Um, or I think it was right here. I was down 2,300. One of these high points. But then it came crashing down again. It gave me a second chance to get out. And this time I was going to get out with like roughly $200 gain after being down $2,300. And I still didn't take it. Then they gave me a chance to break even right here, a third chance. Still didn't take it, squeezed up, and then came crashing down. The whole time my heart is beating. I'm sick as fuck. My mind is just racing. I'm thinking to myself like, what kind of dumb decision am I making here? And and I just got real disappointed in myself. And then came crashing down, squeezed that back up. This was at the point where I was down the most. Still didn't. I did. Of course, I didn't cover. I should have covered. You know, all throughout this mess and just took my loss. Um, but I was too stubborn to follow my rules. But I saw this head and shoulders pattern that it was doing here. Here's the shoulder. Here's one shoulder. Here's the head, and here's the other shoulder. and I know that's a bearish pattern. So that led me to know that the stock was going to come down. So it was coming down, and I covered at 14.16, and I don't know how much I was down, and then I short again. I short about 1,000 shares, I believe. Yeah, short 1,000 shares again, and it ran up on me again, and then I covered for a total of $243 loss. Um, Eventually, it came down to where I wanted it to, but overall, this was just horrible fucking trading, and I'm glad I didn't get back in because it ended up running up so much on after I got out. It went from the 1350s all the way to closing for the day. It went to a high of 1689, so almost $4. I'm glad I didn't short this again. Um, I don't care about longing it because I was just in a completely wrong mindset yesterday. After the stock had hit my entry on the front side. Um, After it hit my entry on the front side here, and I was like down on the trade, I threw all my rules and discipline out the window, and I was trading on holding and hoping. Um, that could have been the biggest loss, my second biggest loss of the year, um, or in my trade history. But um, I don't know, man. I'm in the wrong mindset. Um, Thankfully, I didn't continue shorting because it kept riding up throughout the day. It's at 1760 for a high, and I don't want to trade any stock like this. But yeah, that's my two trades for the day. SLS was pretty good. Um, I came out on top. I still was in the wrong mindset on trading it here on the front side. Um, uh, let me see. It ran up from like roughly 550, 650 to a high of 15, almost 15. Excuse me. So it's down about 50% off its highs. This could still bounce, but I think I traded this pretty well. I could have done a lot better. But the way I scaled in and out was pretty good. Plus, it had previous resistance. So I think I did pretty good. I just hope that I can be more responsible for myself and more disciplined, or I'm going to be out the game. I don't know, and I don't expect to have these $1,000 gains for this month, or at least for this week. But these $1,000 gains don't come every day, and I got to remember that. And I need to go back to my regular size. I'm trading 1,500 shares, 1,000 shares, when I should be trading up to my risk level. But like making $100, making $200, to be honest, is at a point where it's like it's nothing to me. Um, it's just a couple $100. I guess I'm more comfortable with 1,000 now, and maybe that's the wrong mindset. Most likely it is the wrong mindset, but um, a couple $100 gains ain't it's nothing to me, and I need to remember that I gotta be willing to take those kind of gains. So yeah.